Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Emoti-kaun series, session number 12. I'm Hema Subramanian, and this is Sowmiya Bhas. We are the owners of the W therapies. Both of us are practicing psychotherapists, we are hypnotherapists, we are regression therapists. We believe a lot in contributing to the world, making the world a better place, making our lives easier, contributing to your lives becoming easier. So, yeah, so that's the intent of the Emoti-kaun series. And we've been trying to spice up the understanding of emotions through examples from the Mahabharat, understanding emotions through the Mahabharat series. And last week, we had a very, very interesting concept. While we were discussing anger, we realized that anger is a secondary emotion. What does that mean? A secondary emotion means that it is not the core emotion. Yeah, anger is not the core emotion. There is another emotion hiding behind that anger. So, in the first session, while we discussed anger, we came across the emotion of hurt or disappointment, where when we do not get what we expected or what we were promised, then we get disappointed, and out of the disappointment, we develop anger. Sometimes the anger is righteous, saying this is the morality quotient or the boundary. And once the morality boundary crosses, self-respect is breached or something like that, it leads to something called as righteous anger. Okay. However, the expectation of anything can also be perceived. So an underlying disappointment of the expectation not being met, causing hurt and disappointment, can also lead to anger. That was discussed in the session before last. In the last session, we came to another emotion, that is helplessness, that leads to anger. One of the characters that we discussed last time was this character of Amba. We went through the story of how she was in love with somebody, but she was forcefully, without Bhishma being aware, she was brought to this kingdom, and then she was spurned in all particular aspects, and then she didn't know. She was so spurned and she was so helpless and she was so upset that she did not know what to do next. So she goes and she, takes a vow saying that regardless how many lifetimes it takes, I'm going to make sure that I kill this Bhishma, okay, or I make sure that he learns his lesson. And we had stopped with a homework where we asked you, what will you do if a character like Amba comes into your life, asking for advice? So, any responses so far? Any introspective thoughts around how will you help a personality like Amba if she comes to you, having felt so much of hurt and disappointment, helplessness, not being able to get justice? Any cues? So I will share something that that I not only practice, but it is a very famous theory by Stephen Covey in his book called The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. It's one of the go-to books. If you can practice even one habit, a lot of things will change for you. This is called habit number 1. And the concept that he talks about is something called as a circle of control. Okay. So he talks about 3 different aspects of things that affect us. Okay. So while we live, there are like so many things that are happening around us. Now, a lot of things are beyond our control. They're out of our control. Like the weather is out of our control. A war happening in some other places out of our control. Inflation is out of our control. A lot of such things. So even if we bother, even if we start worrying about all of those, we will not be able to do much about it. We will not be able to do anything about it. What can you do about a war happening in Israel? Hardly anything. Okay. Or what can you do about a traffic jam? You can't do much. Right. So that is an out of control situation. So he says that Things will happen to you. But what you do about it will change the entire game for you. You can get frustrated. You can keep honking in that traffic. You can get frustrated. You can swear at other people and say that this is a lousy place. What a lousy place it is. But that's not going to change your reality. Okay. Then he talks about another circle below that, within that, which is called as a circle of influence. What does that mean? You can do something about it. For example, if again, if we take the example of a traffic jam, very few people do this. But if you know that a traffic jam is because of some people, crossing each other and they are not able to untangle themselves, you might want to step out and say that, okay, you go here, I'll clear the traffic jam. So that is something that you can do. That is something still which is in your circle of influence. Another example here is that if somebody comes to you for advice about anything, you can only tell them what you think. Right? That is your influence on that person. Whether that person takes that decision, accepts that advice, is not in your control. Okay, so that is a circle of influence. And at the core of it, there is something called a circle of control. Circle of control is what is in your control 100%. He says, I know that this might sound a little philosophical, but it is definitely true, right from the Buddha to Krishna to Stephen Covey. A lot of people have said this, that you can only control yourself. You have 100% control over your reactions. You have 100% control over your beliefs, your thoughts. You have 100% control over how you want your life to be. What is the next step that you want to take for yourself? That is 100% in your control. So he says that if we operate from a space of the circle of control, like looking at only what we can do, then our life becomes fairly simple. Okay. The examples that, again, he gives is that your attitude is in your hands. Your actions are in your hands. What you want to invest in, your time is in your hands fairly. Right? So to a great extent, if we operate from the circle of control, your life becomes simple. To be able to accept the circle of control and the circle of influence, he talks about this concept called as taking responsibility. And he divides this word responsibility into two parts. He says response plus ability. So he says that the ability to respond to situation is always in your control. Regardless. So for a lot of us, we say that he made me angry. He makes me feel irritated. He does this, so I feel irritated. So he says that, yeah, that may be true, but that's out of your control. What he does, what you can do is absolutely, your ability to respond is absolutely in your control. Another book recommendation, is to read The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Like I said, for people who have followed this, they swear by it. And it's a wonderful book to read. Even if you can take up one habit and make it a part of your life, it will be amazing. But we come to the tricky part. The tricky part is that what do you do with this helplessness? That is where Sowmiya comes in and rescues us, saying, I have a technique that will help us understand what do we do with these feelings that we do not understand how to handle. Okay? So I'm going to stop jabbering and hand it over to Sowmiya. Sowmiya, over to you.
Thank you, Emma. So I really liked the way to look at responsibility. That's a new learning for me as well. Your ability to respond to something. And we think of usually as responsibility as shouldering responsibilities. That's such a big shift in perception for me. So thank you for that. Moving on to what you shared about Amba. Now, if Amba were my client and if she had to come to me, so first I would like to explain to her, like I explain to all my clients, is that since you have the issue, the person who can experience the change is you. Whatever has happened in the past, the insults that you have faced, the feeling of not belonging anywhere, that what you have faced, everything that you have faced is there in the past. Can we change the past? We cannot change the past. Can we change another person? No, we cannot change another person. But like Hema said, we can definitely change the way we feel about that situation. So with that understanding, there is a technique that we use popularly in hypnotherapy. It's called the Paris window technique, to ask her what she's feeling. So, Hema, let's do a small role play kind of scenario.
Okay.
So, Hema, you can act out the role of Amba.
Okay. So yeah, this world is a bad place, and look at these guys, they're all bad, and they have no respect for a woman, and they have no consensual, whatever. They don't have any sense
Amba.
or demeanor. Huh? What? Sorry? Sorry?
No, question is very funny the way. So,
Oh yeah, yeah. But Amba would definitely, if you watch the if you watch the series, that's what she says. That's how she shouts. I mean, you know Mahabharat, right? That they keep saying, "Oh my God, मैं जला दूंगी," whatever. I'll do this and I'll do that, and so yeah. So that's how she goes. Like everybody is bad, the men are bad, and they have no regard for anybody, and all of this and all of that. So
So,
yeah,
what
so
are you feeling, Amba? These are all the things that you're saying. What are you feeling?
I am feeling very angry. I just want to kill Bhishma, and I want to make sure he learns his lesson and he'll never repeat this with any other woman in his life. And how arrogant.
Okay.
Such a prick. Be saying that. Okay. But I'm Amba. I can say anything. I'm in the role right now.
Okay. So, well, in this space where, killing is not allowed, because, hey, we are in that system where we are not going into war. So because you're in this century, not where you were, so that option is out of the picture right now. So you can probably wish ill, like curse him and everything, but as you said, you want to kill him. Well, that is off the plate now, because then I'll have to inform the police and stuff. So
Yeah, definitely.
coming back to this century. So, okay, yes, you're feeling
So I'm very
angry. And
angry. I'm very angry. Very, very
yes.
angry.
And can you do anything about what has happened with you?
No. But I would like to teach him a lesson though.
Okay, and what would that involve?
That will involve punishing him or doing something about it. Actually, I'm not able to do anything about it because he seems to be like a really superhuman kind of a person, right? So I don't think I can, although I wish that I'm quite helpless. I'm not able to understand how to hurt him.
So you're feeling angry, you're feeling helpless. And what do you think he thinks about your situation, about what's happening?
He says he's sorry, but I don't buy that. If he should have thought about it, right? I mean, it's not
You
fair.
feel that he's sorry.
He says he's sorry, but I don't know. I think he's damaged me a lot. So I don't know if he's sorry. He says he's sorry, but I don't
Okay,
know if
so
he's.
let's just take it at that face value. He says he's sorry. And moving on, so these are two windows that we have covered. One, what you're feeling, that's you're feeling hurt and helpless. What is that person, what is Bhishma feeling? And you're saying that he's saying he's sorry. The third window is, what do you think about what he is feeling? You feel that it's not genuine.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think so. Like,
Okay.
it doesn't change anything for me. So, what do I do with his apology? You can just shove it like, whatever, keep it to himself.
So for you, it feels meaningless.
Yeah.
Okay. And moving on to the fourth window, where actually the resolution can take place, is that what is it that you want to feel? Because you know now that you cannot change the past. You know what the other person, Bhishma, is saying, and you also know what you're feeling about it. But in the end, since you're here in this space where you're seeking healing, what do you want out of this?
I want to feel peace.
You want to feel peace. That's what you want to see. So this is the technique that we talk about in hypnotherapy. So we speak about the movement from a certain feeling, which is from anger and helplessness to feeling peace. And how do we go about doing that is what the therapy is about. What ideally we would do in a situation is ask Amba or the client to recollect a situation where she has felt peace, where you have felt peace. And we will magnify that under trance so that it becomes a core body memory for her, for the client. And under hypnosis, whatever she's feeling about Bhishma, all this rage that she's been feeling about Bhishma, where right now there's no place for her to actually act out, vent out, or feel satisfaction because moral policing and actual policing. So we give her that safety of the space in her mind to just be herself, be true to what she wants, explore and express, remove it completely. Remove it completely. Catharsis, in other words. And once that is out under trance, we can now replace that empty space of hurt and anger with the feeling of peace. Anchor it back again. This is what we would usually do in a therapeutic situation. Now, forgetting the therapeutic situation, and actually, if Amba was here, what would I advise her? That was the question of the day. Well, that was a googly even for me. What do you advise somebody who is so hurt and all that they can see is wanting revenge? So you can't really say or do anything beyond just allowing them to express that. They had the mechanisms to go ahead and do that and, know that it's a rebirth and, well, great. Maybe she found some salvation or some amount of peace by seeing that, but who knows? What we do know is that there will be a cycle of karma. And if you want to break out of that cycle of karma, you cannot get stuck into this loop of wanting revenge, and that satisfaction coming only through the misery of somebody else. Hema, do you have a few more words to add on to this?
Definitely, I definitely added. But look, all of these people were not nuts, right? Like whoever said this, like Buddha said this, and Jesus said this, and Krishna said this, and all these ascended masters and deities that we talk about, that we pray to, they all preach forgiveness. It's not for nothing. And there are so many movies. I don't recollect the name of the movie now. So there's something about I want revenge and I want to kill this person and whatever. And I'll tell you the name of the movie. So the protagonist wants to take revenge, wants to kill this person, but when it comes to actually killing this person, he's not able to do that because your hurt is yours. It doesn't change with the presence of a person or the death of the person. Even if the person is gone, does your emotion change? Is a very questionable thing actually. So Buddha says that anger is a poison that you drink and expect the other person to die. So it's a very, very sorted statement that he makes, and the law of karma is very, very deep in terms of life will throw us curveballs, right? And how much we can handle is absolutely up to us. That is definitely in our control. Again, coming back to the circle of control, saying that there are a lot of people who undergo a lot of adversities. If everybody started killing everybody for all the hurt that they felt, then I don't think there would be anybody in this world left. Somebody would hurt somebody in some way, right? Yeah. So we'll take up a quick, we have time for a quick Paris window right now. We have about 10 odd minutes. Can we try a Paris window?
Yeah, go ahead.
Can we try like a Paris window right now? Thinking of helplessness and anger. Or at least maybe anchor peace. We can do that, right? And then the next session we take up the entire.
Okay, so let's try that. So do you want to lead that?
Please do it. I've done enough of my rambling for
Okay, so let everybody does feel a certain amount of anger. So given that, okay, think of a person that you are angry with. You can jot it down if you wish, of the situation that has happened that caused you that anger. Okay. Now, jot down, what do you think that person, what is that person's feeling or thinking about the situation? Yeah. Now, jot down, what are you thinking about that person's feelings or thinkings about the situation? What are your thoughts? And finally, what do you want out of this exercise? So, peace or feeling happy or...
So there's a question that I have here. When you say what do you want out of the situation, that wanting is for me only, right? Not for the other person.
Yes. It's a wanting for you. What do you want to feel?
What do I
Because
want?
we are working on the premise that it is I who can change my feeling, my situation. Hence, because the control is within me. So we are working with that circle of control, what I can control. And I can control what I can think, feel,
Okay.
evolve into. Yeah. So once again, I'll just repeat it. First is what you're feeling. That's anger. Second is anger about a situation with a certain person. Second is what that person feels, thinks about the situation. Third is what you think, feel about that person, thoughts and feelings. And fourth is your outcome. What do you wish to have? The feeling that you can change into. Okay. So if you're choosing peace, think of a situation where you felt peaceful the most. Okay. And with that thought, let's just gently close our eyes. And just imagine yourself in a room where you feel very comfortable. As you breathe in and breathe out, you drop into your body. And you imagine yourself in a place where you feel very comfortable and very much in control. And imagine or visualize yourself sitting, lying down comfortably in that room of yours. And let your thoughts go back to this amazing moment of peace that you had experienced. Visualize it in detail, what was happening, how you felt. And as you think about it, that same feeling, you can feel it in your body. Feel it in your body and notice the place, that part of your body where you're feeling it the most. And as you breathe in and breathe out, that feeling amplifies and it anchors into that part of your body completely. Adding on to that feeling, you can just add a trigger as well. Maybe something like touching the tip of your nose or rubbing your hands together or putting your hand on your heart. And whenever you do that, this feeling that you have anchored just comes back. And you are in that zone immediately. And now slowly let this feeling recede in the background. Recede in the background. And you're once again in your space of comfort, of control. And you think back of that person with whom you're angry. You can either invite the person in this space, in this room, or you can go to where this situation was created. Visualize that person, and you are always in charge. You are in control. Whatever you want to express to this person, in whatever language, whatever actions, you can do so. There is no right, no wrong. There's only you and you who matter. So express completely. Express all that you wish. And make sure you express your anger completely. And as you do that, you can feel that anger leaving your body. Maybe through your words, maybe through your actions. You can feel that anger draining out of your body. Draining out of your body. Letting it go to that person completely. And with the vacuum that is created with the exit of this anger in your body, fill it up now with that feeling of peace or calmness that you had experienced before. You can put your hand on your heart, whatever your trigger was. And once you do that, you can feel that peace just flooding your body once again, especially that vacuum where anger left. Feel it completely. And as this happens, you're feeling complete, and you can allow that person to leave your space. It's just you, now in your room, in your space, feeling completely in control and filled up with this feeling. And as that's happening, you can feel it magnify and cover your entire body in each and every cell of your body, coursing through your DNA, this feeling of peace. And just to test it, just imagine or visualize you see this person once again in the future, in another circumstance. And when you see this person, just put your hand on your heart, whatever your trigger was, and see what you're feeling. That sensation of peace will just come flooding back. Let him recede into the background, him or her. And you are with yourself completely. And as you're breathing in and breathing out, you're becoming very aware of the present. And whenever you feel ready, you can gently open your eyes, coming back to the here and now.
Right in time, just 1 minute before the Google Meet ends.
So welcome back. You're right on time.
That was great. That was great. Maybe we can do this on our own as well, right? Being able to
Yeah.
now, because we've set a trigger, so whatever the trigger is, place the hand, feel the peace, again empty the emotion, then again feel the peace. So I think it's a recursive thing that we can keep doing.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. So that's the beauty of these sessions. We give away, we teach these small tips which can actually help a lot. You just need to practice it.
True that.
So that's a good thought, Hema, that yes, you can practice it on your own.
Super.
Self-help is the best help.
Definitely so. Increasing all the responsibilities. So, okay, great. Thank you, Sowmiya. I feel,
Thanks, Hema. Thanks, Parvati, for joining.
yeah, thanks, Parvati, for joining in. Thank you. And we'll see you next week.
Yes.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Throw
Good
us
night.
out. Bye.